Hello. This week's functions grid is about two topics, namely expressing expectations about the past, dus je verwachtingen omtrent het verleden uitdrukken, and expressing reproach or regret. Expressing reproach, dat is een verwijt uitdrukken, and expressing regret, je spijt uitdrukken. Now, if we want to talk about what was expected about the past, you have to use the past form of to be supposed to, the past form of to be expected to, or the past form of to be to, always plus infinitive. Dus om te spreken over wat verwacht werd met betrekking tot het verleden, je verwachtingen over het verleden, je moet dat doen aan de hand van de verleden tijd of de verleden vorm van to be supposed to be expected to of to be to plus infinitief. Let's take a look at the examples underneath. First one, he was supposed to hold a space for our tent. Ja, dus we verwachten van hem of hij zou een plaats voor onze tent moeten vrijgehouden hebben. Ja. We had expected them to sell the basics only. We hadden dus verwacht dat ze enkel de basics of de basismiddelen zouden verkopen. And I was to bring some plastic bags to protect our luggage and the tent from the rain. Van mij werd verwacht of ik moest plastic zakjes meenemen om onze bagage en onze tent te beschermen tegen de regen. So, past form of to be supposed to, that means he was supposed to hold, so plus infinitive. You know that the infinitive to be has two different past forms. It is was singular and were plural. So this could also be we were supposed to hold a space for our tent. Yes, this is also correct. We had expected them to sell, so plus infinitive, and I was to bring, this is the past form of to be to plus infinitive. So this is all about expressing expectations about the past. The second part is about expressing reproach, verwijt, or regret, spijt. Now, you can use all different verb structures and they are listed here in the green color. Should or should not, or shouldn't, of course, in the short form. You can also use short forms. Might or might not, and ought or ought not to, plus have, plus a past participle, plus een voltooid deelwoord. Ja, hier in het Nederlands staat dat ook nog eens opgelijst daaronder. Dus deze verschillende werkwoordstructuren, ja, plus have, plus een voltooid deelwoord. Ja, dat gebruik je om verwijt uit te drukken of spijt, omdat dingen die je dus verwacht had, dat die niet zijn gebeurd. Ja? Let's take a look at the examples. Reproach. You should have called him on his mobile. Ja? Je had hem moeten bellen op zijn gsm. He ought to have charged his phone when he was still at home. Ja? Hij had eigenlijk beter zijn telefoon opgeladen terwijl hij nog thuis was. Cheryl might have left her 15 outfits at home. Ze had evengoed haar 15 verschillende outfits thuis kunnen laten. When you want to express regret, we shouldn't have done that. Ja, dus dan heb je deze eerste werkwoordstructuur gebruikt, plus have, plus voltooid deelwoord van to do. We shouldn't have done that. We zouden dat beter niet gedaan hebben. We ought to have booked the easy tent option instead. We hadden beter deze easy tent option geboekt. So we might have traveled without any luggage at all. Nou, we hadden zelfs zonder bagage kunnen reizen. Now let's take a look at the different exercises on expressing expectations about the past and expressing reproach or regret. Now, let's read the first assignment. This is exercise 4.2 at page, let me see, I think it's 141, if I'm not mistaken. So Dave and Cheryl, they went to Tomorrowland together last year, but afterwards they split up. It appears that plastic bags weren't the only things Dave hadn't thought about. Now write a sentence for each picture about what Cheryl had expected Dave to do. Now, let me make it a bit bigger. It's not that clear here on my computer screen. I think it will be in your workbooks. So, when we take a look at the first picture, yes, and don't forget to highlight in your assignment what you need to do. You can read here what Cheryl had expected Dave to do. That means, of course, you have to use the verb structures that have to do with expressing expectations about the past. So the first part in your functions grid. You see that Dave is a bit lazy here in the festival arena or festival area, and Cheryl is doing all the things by herself. So, Cheryl had expected Dave to put up the tent. Yeah, so this is the first exercise. Had expected plus infinitive. Okay? Let's do the first one, the second one also together. You see that Cheryl's back and shoulders, they are entirely sunburned. So I think Dave was supposed to put sunscreen on her back and shoulders. Yes? So this is the second verb structure. You use was supposed to plus infinitive. I think here Cheryl had expected Dave to put a sun cream or the sunscreen on her back and shoulders. So this is how you finish the rest of the exercise. Yeah, so I think there are 4 more pictures to go. Try to use all different verb structures to express the expectations about the past. So don't always use the same one here, had, expected, plus infinitive. You can also use the other ones as well. So, the second exercise is about expressing regret. So make sure that you also highlight this in your assignment. Now, imagine you are at the music festival. What would you say to yourself if, for example, your tent collapsed during a storm? Dat wil zeggen dat je tent helemaal in elkaar valt. To collapse, instorten. During a storm. So you need to express regret. Je moet spijt uitdrukken, misschien omdat je toch maar beter die hotelkamer had geboekt. So, a possible thing that you could say to yourself is, I should have booked a room in a hotel, or I should have stayed at a campsite during a storm. Yes? Should have plus past participle. Ja, dus niet vergeten dat voltooid deelwoord hier nog aan toe te voegen. So this was the second exercise. And the third exercise is about expressing reproach. Dus het uitdrukken van verwijt. Express reproach. Now you are still at the festival. Now what would you say to someone who was arrested by the police because of drug possession? So I think you could clearly say you shouldn't have brought drugs with you. So here you use the negative form of should, so shouldn't or should not, plus have, plus the past participle. So this is the third exercise about expressing reproach. 4.3 is your last assignment or last writing practice for this week. What do you need to do? So you read the text message that you got from your friend Oscar, who lives in London. Yeah, so you read his text message. Something comes up on the Tomorrowland website because what do you see? You had completely forgotten about this plan. You go to the website of Tomorrowland and then you see this message on the home page. Unfortunately, everything is sold out. Your assignment is to send Oscar a message in which you express, oh, let's take a look, let's go back again. Yes, we were here. In which you express expectations about the past, in which you express reproach, and, so it is not or, it is and, a bit too much. And regret. So don't forget to mention all 3 different verb structures, yes? So you send him a message back. You need to express a sentence, or you need to write down sentences in which you express expectations about the past at least once, in which you express reproach at least once, and regret at least once. Okay, so I hope this assignment is clear. If it's not, feel free to contact me via Smart School and send me a message. Good luck.